welcome to Week and Geek, your new comics preview for September 5th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown.
So what do you got?
All right, well, my lead-off pick here is sort of unique in that it's a reprint. We often don't cover reprints too often, but this one I think is almost top pick material, but it is a reprint. I'm looking at Thanos Quest #1. They're calling it Thanos Quest #1 when it's actually a compilation of books 1 and 2.
Right.
So it's the whole Thanos Quest story, which will roll you into the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's pertinent because that's essentially what they're leading into with these Avengers movies, and that's why Thanos turns to the camera and smiles when he's offered the prospect that to take on the Avengers is to court death. So that is my top pick. I believe it's a $7.99 book for the two. So if that's one of those old books that it's out of print, if you can't afford it, can't find it, you can pick that thing up and read the whole story.
This is like those DC showcase, those little mini trade paperbacks.
Absolutely,
that sort of thing.
And a great idea, and I'm really glad they're doing it.
Oh yeah, I mean this hasn't been in print for quite a while, but it was a great story. If you love the Infinity Gauntlet, this is pretty much what gets you there.
It made me fall in love with Thanos. Love it. I'm looking at my next pick here is Harvest #2 from Image Comics. I really enjoyed that first issue. It's very weird, kind of a strange thing going on. It's essentially this out of down on his luck doctor. He's sort of an alcoholic. He made a mistake, a rather big mistake when you're a surgeon, and he gets fired. So he ends up kind of in cahoots with these people who are harvesting organs. So he's stealing people's organs, and he's one of these shifty doctors who takes his cut, and then they do what they do. I'm sure they're building to some kind of larger tale. It's not just him stealing people's organs. So let's see where they go with that. Should kind of cool. Then I'm looking at Thief of Thieves #8. This has been a pick that I've gone with every issue. I like this book. As I've said, it's got sort of that 60s swanky thief movie, like kind of like a heist movie feel to it. I really enjoy it. I think Robert Kirkman's fantastic. This has got a new writer on this one. This is no longer Nick Spencer with issue 8.
Okay.
So it's kind of starting the new arc, I believe there. And this, was an AMC adoption as a TV show, so we're probably going to be seeing that coming up on the schedule. Then I'm looking at Planet of the Apes Cataclysm #1. I don't really know too much. I believe this is following the Zaius stuff and following that story that Gabriel Hardman and Karina Bechko were doing.
That second timeline they've got going.
Yes,
just immediately before the movie.
And I believe Hardman is actually doing art on this one here. And I know all of you people are looking. Why don't you just look through the book? Holiday.
Yeah.
Holiday. Messed us up. You will have your books on Wednesday though. Mind the Gap issue #4. I feel like I'm, almost alone in reading this book. I've got a few customers who are reading it, who are really enjoying it, and I read good things about it online, but I'm not hearing everybody as fired up about it as maybe they should be. I really like this book. It's strange. It's got a strange collection of characters. Everybody's got something going on, and we're trying to figure out what's up with our main girl who's in a coma. But she's in sort of this limbo-ish place where she's kind of a spirit. She can see everyone else. She can jump into other bodies. She could not jump into her own. Things got a little crazy, but something's going on. Mind the Gap is obviously an allusion to a subway, and she gets pushed in front of a subway. That's where she's in, the situation she's in. So good stuff. I don't know why people are not raving about this book. I'll keep raving about it because I really like it. I think it's fun. Then I'm looking at Guarding the Globe #1. I don't know if they finished the last miniseries they were doing.
Yeah, I was like, didn't this come out not too long ago? I don't know.
They started doing it, and then it didn't. It did or didn't finish. I don't remember it having finished, and now we get a new #1.
Just the new 52 version?
I suppose so. And it's going to be an ongoing,
all right.
the ongoing Guarding the Globe.
Does everybody have lines on their costume now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good. They're doing it right.
Then we've got DC Zero month here. I'm looking at Animal Man Zero. I really like Animal Man. This is supposed to take a little break here and kind of do a little origin stuff, I believe.
Takes place before the issue #1.
Okay.
At some point.
So long before Rot World and all that stuff.
This is kind of what got you. I think they talked about the movie he was in.
Oh.
But,
okay.
All the Zero issues are basically...
They're just supposed to be jumping on points and origins,
They're kind of like backstory of some of the questions that you might have had with the #1. So they're just backstory. Okay.
So we got Swamp Thing #0 here. So that should, bridge the gap between the Brightest Day stuff and Swamp Thing #1 because figure out what's going on with Al Holland or
like it might be a changed origin.
Okay.
Something like that. Some of them are going to be like that.
All right. Then looking at Dial H, I think this book has been really cool. Dial H number 0, so I guess this is going to give us an origin of the dial. Looks like they're
a previous owner of the dial.
Oh, is that? Well, it was this dial was a phone booth.
Well, this I think is just a regular dial.
Okay, because there are more than one dial.
Yeah. Now
that is what they're telling us. Then, man, liking these Valiant books. You know what? I'm gonna move to the one I like a little less. Bloodshot number 3. We're now fully getting in here. This is issue number 3. We should really be moving with our story. I liked issue 2 better than I liked issue 1, and I liked issue 1. I did. I thought the beginning was a little stilted and weird. I think ultimately what it's going to come down to with the Bloodshot, and I'm going to read all of these Valiant titles for their first story arc. But I do think this Bloodshot's going to be one that, while it is good, I just don't think it's my thing. The whole military aspect, the nanites, it's just not grabbing me. Wow. But it is good. I'm liking it so far, and I'm going to read that first arc and see where it goes and see what happens. And then we got Archer Armstrong number 2, and I did really like this first issue. I feel like they explained the cult that Archer was from a little bit better. I kind of liked the way they kind of showed the brothers, Aram and Gilead and all those. And I think Time Walker might be dead in this version. I'm not sure. There were some weird things going on, but I think ultimately, if they bring him back, he'll be walking through time.
I haven't read any Valiant comics. I don't know
what is the matter with you? So it's all just gibberish to you at this point. All the same, good stuff. I really did like that Archer and Armstrong, and I'm looking forward to the second issue to see how they bring out a little bit more of that story there. So what are you looking at?
I'm going to start off with Think Tank number 2. The first issue was actually pretty good. It's this guy who is in a government think tank, super genius, has a crisis of conscience, and doesn't want to work on weapons and things that harm people anymore. So he basically tries to not do anything, but then they threaten to get rid of him and his partner. So now he's trying to find ways to give them things that they want that he can sort of use himself. It's really kind of a straight take on Real Genius almost.
Okay.
So I thought it was actually kind of interesting. I'm curious to see where I think the last issue ended with the government realizing what he was doing and showing up at his door. So yeah, it's actually kind of an interesting... Again, it's one of these things that sounds like it could be a TV pitch or a movie pitch. But again, I love Real Genius, and that was kind of the premise there. So a straight version of it would be fine.
Is there a guy living in the closet?
This guy actually kind of has the same story as the guy living in the closet. So it's just him. But
so he is Laszlo.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's crazy, but he's also a super genius.
I look forward to him winning all the prizes in the serial promotions.
Next up is Ultimate Spider-Man. This has been still a pretty good book. Now we're going into this Divided We Fall crossover with the other Ultimate books. I'm not reading any of those, so I have no idea if I'm going to understand what's going on in here. But something big is going on in the rest of the Ultimate Universe again, and Spider-Man taking part in it.
They're all divided again.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Next up is Smallville Season 11. This, again, has been pretty solid. I was a fan of the TV show.
Okay.
I think they do a pretty good job of bringing the TV show to a comic book. This is a new storyline. The last one was about the cyborg Superman. So they're doing stuff that takes place, after the Smallville show ends. It's a pretty good Superman take.
Okay.
I think they have the show down pretty good, but it's just still a little not quite Superman. Next up, Mighty Thor. You're going to be hearing a lot of this is winding down this run. This is the crossover between Thor and Journey into Mystery. Okay. That basically is going to bring this Thor book to a close so they can reboot it for Marvel now. Journey into Mystery, I don't believe, is ending, but it's switching over to Sif.
Is it? And then Loki's joining another group.
Yeah,
so they're going to continue that story in something else.
So basically, there's going to be a lot of the Marvel books over the next couple months that are just finishing up the run, kind of wrapping things up. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man. This is the beginning of the Alpha storyline with Spider-Man's sidekick. I don't know. That's kind of a strange idea. We'll give it a shot.
I don't know about Spider-Man with a sidekick.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really does, but who knows? Kid'll probably die. It is Spider-Man. Next up, we got some more DC Zero issues. We got Phantom Stranger Zero.
I'm looking forward to that.
This is showing what the new Phantom Stranger and the new 52 is like. It's going to tie into the story that was in the Free Comic Book Day story. It's also going to, I guess, give you clues as to what's going to be happening with the big crossover the Trinity War stuff, all the stuff that they've been teasing. The next big DC event. I guess a lot of that groundwork is going to be in this book. It's written by Dan DiDio, so it's the editor-in-chief of the company. So he gets to write a book.
Right.
When you're the boss,
you get to write a book.
Next up, this one I'm looking forward to a lot. It's the Earth 2 Zero issue. So we're going to get to see the story of the Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman that we only got a few pages of. So I think they're going to either just show more of them or maybe show more of that last battle. But again, go to issue 1 of Earth 2, and this is what happens right before it. Green Lantern Zero, I don't think this is jumping back in time. This is the one that introduces the new Arab American Green Lantern character. Hal Jordan died at the end of the last story, and it became a Black Lantern, and now they're seeking out a new Lantern. There's been a lot of attention on this because it's the first Arab American Green Lantern, and certainly a very prominent role in the new DC universe. So been getting a lot of attention, but this has been a good book, so we'll give Jeff Johns a chance on that. We got Action Comics number 0. This is going to be Superman prior to Superman number 1. Get used to hearing that, because you're going to hear that a lot over the next month too. This is the story that happens. He becomes Superman, and this is like his first public appearances or whatever. Okay. Basically, it's the stuff that happened before issue number 1, and that's the bulk of my stack.
All right. Well, that brings me to my top pick here. Sort of a strange one. This is I've been branching out a little bit, trying to try some odd things. I'm looking at Fashion Beast number 1 by Avatar Comics. It is written by Alan Moore and Malcolm McLaren. It was originally based on a film script that never happened, and so they took this script and turned it into a comic. It is essentially a take on Beauty and the Beast by, once again, Alan Moore and Malcolm McLaren. For those of you who don't know who Malcolm McLaren is, he was the weirdo genius mastermind behind the Sex Pistols. So he and Alan Moore have written some sort of take on Beauty and the Beast, again called Fashion Beast. Right. It's kind of an updated thing with a, this is actually a model or something.
A very old script. I remember the first time this script was mentioned was like on the first printing trade paperback of The Watchmen. So this has been kicking around for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So somebody finally, decided to give it, let it see the light of day.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting.
Yeah, so I'm curious. What on earth is a Beauty and the Beast update going to be like, written by, once again, Alan Moore and Malcolm McLaren?
Yeah.
Weird. All right, I'm in.
All right. My top pick is going to be Hawkeye number 2. I was impressed with the first issue. I was a little leery because I wasn't sure what traction would be like with Hawkeye. Not kind of my favorite character. But this really did kind of have a little bit of the feel of the Iron Fist book they did with David Aja. It's an Earth, kind of a down-to-earth hero. He's an Avenger, but this is not an Avenger story. This is
not at all.
What Hawkeye does on the days the Avengers are doing something that he can't really help out with.
Right.
And so it's kind of a day in the life, one-off issue, the first one. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this. This is a very, very different tone. The kind of tone that maybe you got at the beginning of Bendis's Daredevil run.
Right.
And really that sort of vibe, very street level. And it seems like Marvel has not been putting a lot of emphasis on that. Even Daredevil is more superhero than this kind of gritty street thing. So I'm going to give this a shot. I think this might be the first time I actually like Hawkeye.
I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Yeah, I really liked the first issue as well. Like I said, you said everything that I felt about the book as well. Where it wasn't a larger story, but it was letting you know what the tone of the book was.
Great art too.
But David Aja.
I didn't realize how much I missed David Aja.
Yeah, me neither. But reading, I was like, man, it's so good.
Yeah.
But so be sure to check these out at your local brick and mortar store. Also remember that we are going to have books on Wednesday, so that holiday doesn't screw you up. Don't worry, we never have to worry about that again. And hopefully in time it'll get so sunk in we won't have to repeat this on holidays. But with that is your Week in Geek.